He dropped the curtain and stumbled back from the window when the porch light next door flicked on. It was 2:14 in the morning. The house beside his had been dark for weeks. No car, no movement, no sound. But now the porch light was on, and someone was standing in the upstairs window. Marcus didn't blink. He couldn't. The figure wasn't moving, just standing there behind the thin curtain, tall and narrow, head slightly tilted as if studying him. His phone slipped from his hand and hit the floor. The light shut off instantly. The window went black. Marcus stayed frozen in the dark of his bedroom, chest tight, breath shallow. He had lived on Briarwood Lane for 3 months, and in all that time, no one had ever stepped foot outside that house. No one had mowed the lawn. No one had collected the mail. No one had opened the door, but someone had just turned that light on. He told himself it was a trick of reflection. Maybe someone across the street, maybe headlights, maybe exhaustion. He didn't sleep the rest of the night. The next morning, sunlight made everything feel ridiculous. The house looked exactly as it always did. Paint peeling, porch sagging slightly to the left, grass high enough to hide the lower steps. The mailbox leaned forward like it was tired of standing. Marcus stood at his kitchen sink, pretending to wash a mug while watching through the blinds. Nothing moved. His phone buzzed. "Bro, you sound insane," his sister Kayla said when he called her earlier. "You said no one lives there." "No one comes out," Marcus corrected. "That's different. Maybe they're just private." "For 3 months? Not once?" She sighed. "Have you seen a car?" "No." "Delivery trucks?" "No." "Okay, so maybe it's empty." "It's not empty," he said quietly. "I saw someone." Silence stretched. "You're overthinking it," she said finally. "You just moved. New place, new sounds. Your brain fills in gaps." Marcus didn't argue, but he knew what he saw. That night he kept his lights off and sat in the dark. At 1:57 a.m., the upstairs curtain twitched. He leaned closer to the glass. Nothing. Then at 2:03, a faint glow filled the upstairs window. Not bright, not like a normal room light, more like a dull, pale illumination. "Come on," he whispered to himself. The glow moved slightly like someone walking across the room holding a dim lamp. His chest tightened again. He grabbed his phone and started recording. "Okay," he muttered quietly. "If someone lives there, this will prove it." The glow stopped. For a long time, nothing happened. Then the curtain shifted slowly to the side. Not blown, pulled. The figure was clearer this time. Tall, thin, shoulders slightly hunched, and it was facing directly toward his house, toward his window. Marcus's breath fogged the glass. "Hey!" he shouted suddenly, surprising even himself. "Hey!" The glow snapped off. Darkness swallowed the window again. He cursed under his breath and rushed outside barefoot. The night air was cold against his skin as he crossed the narrow strip of grass between their properties. "Hello?" he called, stepping onto the sagging porch. "I know you're in there." No response. The front door looked older up close, scratched near the handle, wood swollen from weather. He knocked. The sound echoed strangely, hollow. "Look, I'm not trying to start anything. I just want to know if someone lives here." Silence. He pressed his ear against the door. Nothing. No movement. No footsteps, no breathing. His heart pounded louder than anything inside the house. He stepped back and glanced up at the second-floor window. The curtain was completely still now. Marcus shook his head and walked back home, telling himself he'd just embarrassed himself in front of an empty building. The next morning, there were 3 large packages on the neighbor's porch. He nearly dropped his coffee. The boxes were stacked neatly by the door. No delivery truck in sight. No footprints in the grass that he could see from his yard. He stepped closer to the window, squinting. Plain brown cardboard. No visible labels from that distance. "They have to live there," he muttered. He texted Kayla a picture. She replied instantly. "Okay, that's weird." "Exactly," he typed back. "Go knock again." He hesitated. Instead, he watched. The packages sat there all day. By evening, they were still untouched. At 11:48 p.m., Marcus sat on his couch pretending to watch TV while glancing at the window every few minutes. At 12:16 a.m., he heard something metallic scrape outside. He muted the TV instantly. Another scrape. Slow, heavy. He moved carefully to the blinds and lifted them just enough to see. The packages were gone. Not carried away. Gone. No one on the porch, no movement in the yard. His pulse spiked. He rushed outside again, heart hammering. The porch was empty. He scanned the ground with his phone's flashlight. No torn cardboard.
No packing foam. Nothing. It was as if the boxes had never existed. He backed away slowly, a strange feeling creeping into his chest. "You saw them," he whispered to himself. "You took a picture." He opened his phone. The image was still there. 3 boxes, clear as day. He looked back at the porch. Empty. The upstairs curtain shifted. He nearly dropped the phone again. This time he didn't shout. He didn't move. He just stared. The figure was closer to the glass now. Not fully visible, but close enough that he could see the outline of a head. Watching. "Why don't you ever come outside?" Marcus whispered under his breath. As if in response, the porch light flicked on again. And this time, it stayed on. Marcus stared at the screen as it vibrated in his hand. Incoming video call. From his own number. His reflection stared back at him in the black screen. He didn't answer. It kept ringing. The porch light next door flicked on again. The timing made his stomach twist. The call stopped. A second later, a text came through. Answer. His throat went dry. Another message. "You wanted to know why I never come outside." Marcus's chest tightened so sharply it hurt. He typed with shaking fingers. "What did you do to my sister?" The typing bubble appeared instantly. "I'm not there." His mind reeled. Not there? Then where? Another message. "I'm where I'm watched." His eyes slowly lifted toward the neighbor's upstairs window. The curtain was wide open now. The room behind it glowed faintly again, that same dull, unnatural light. And the figure stood fully visible for the first time. Tall, unnaturally thin, arms too long at its sides, and its head tilted at the exact same angle Marcus had been standing moments ago, mirroring him. His phone buzzed again. "Check your camera." His heart pounded in his ears. Slowly, he switched to his home security app. The front yard camera loaded first. He saw himself standing there, alone. The neighbor's house in frame, the upstairs window glowing faintly. Then he switched to the living room camera. The footage buffered, loaded. Marcus stopped breathing. The camera showed his living room, empty couch, TV, front door. But the angle was slightly wrong. It wasn't facing toward the room. It was facing toward the hallway. And in the darkness at the end of that hallway, something was standing there. Tall, unmoving, watching the camera, watching him. "No," Marcus whispered, stumbling backward. He turned around slowly toward his front door. It was closed, locked. He was still outside. That meant whatever was in the hallway was inside. His phone vibrated again. "You see me now." His heart felt like it might tear through his chest. "You're not real," he said out loud, voice cracking. "You're not real." The porch light flickered. On, off, then stayed on. The figure in the upstairs window next door leaned forward slightly, and for the first time, it moved its arm, slowly raising it, pointing, not at Marcus, behind him. He couldn't stop himself this time. He turned. His front door was open, just a crack. He knew he had locked it. He knew he hadn't gone inside since coming back out. The hallway light inside flicked on. Marcus's pulse roared in his ears. "Kayla," he whispered, tears burning his eyes. "Please, be okay." His phone buzzed again. "She's safe." Relief hit him so hard he almost collapsed. Then the next message came through. "For now." Rage surged through him. "What do you want?" he shouted toward the neighbor's house. "Just tell me what you want." The figure in the upstairs window tilted its head again. Then the phone screen shifted to video mode automatically. He wasn't touching it. The camera flipped to the front-facing view. Marcus stared at his own face. Behind him, in the reflection, something stood inches away. He spun around violently. Nothing there. He looked back at the screen. The figure was still visible behind him in the camera, smiling. His breath hitched. He slowly lifted his hand and moved it to the side. The figure did not mimic him this time. It stayed perfectly still. Then it leaned forward toward the camera lens, its face filling the screen. Skin pale and stretched too tight, eyes dark and hollow. Smile too wide. The screen went black. Marcus screamed and threw the phone onto the grass. When he looked back up at the neighbor's window, the room was dark again. The curtain had fallen closed. The porch light turned off. The entire house sat silent, still, like it always had. He stood there shaking for several long seconds before slowly bending down to pick up his phone. The screen was cracked, but still working. No recent messages, no outgoing video calls, no sent photos. He opened the security app again. The hallway camera showed nothing. Empty corridor, no figure, no shadow. He felt dizzy. "This isn't happening," he whispered. "I'm losing it." A car drove slowly down the street, headlights sweeping across the houses. For a brief moment, the light illuminated the neighbor's upstairs window. Marcus froze. Something was written on the glass. From the inside. 3 words. "Come outside again." His heart pounded painfully. No, he whispered, backing away toward his porch. His phone buzzed one final time. Private number. He hesitated, then answered. Silence on the other end. Then, a slow, steady breathing sound. Not distorted, not electronic. Real. Close. So close it sounded like it was just behind his ear. Marcus's entire body locked. The breathing stopped. A whisper followed. I don't come outside, because I don't need to. The call ended. At that exact moment, every light in Marcus's house shut off. All at once, the street went dark again. The neighbor's porch light flicked back on. Marcus stood alone in the darkness between the two houses. And from inside his own home, he heard 3 slow knocks echo from the hallway. Boom, boom, boom. Marcus didn't move. The knocks came again. Boom, boom, boom. From inside his house. Not the door, not the walls. From deep in the hallway. His breathing became shallow and uneven. Every instinct screamed at him to run, but his legs refused to obey. Get out, he whispered to himself. Just get in the car and leave. But he couldn't leave. Not without knowing. Not without understanding what this was. His phone screen flickered back on in his trembling hand. No missed calls, no messages, no proof any of it had happened. The neighbor's porch light buzzed faintly, casting a weak glow over the yard. Marcus forced his feet to move. One slow step toward his house, another. The front door was still slightly open. The darkness inside felt heavier than it should have been, like it was pressing outward. Hello? His voice cracked. If you're in there, just talk to me. Silence. Then a faint sound, a soft drag against the floor. From inside, he swallowed hard and stepped onto the porch. The air felt colder near the doorway. He pushed the door open wider. The hallway light flicked back on by itself. Marcus flinched. The hallway looked normal. Pictures on the wall, console table, nothing disturbed. But at the very end of the hallway, his bedroom door was closed. He never closed it. Ever. His pulse thundered in his ears. Another soft sound came from behind that door, a slow scrape, like something shifting its weight. His phone buzzed again. He nearly dropped it. A text. From Kayla. I'm okay. He exhaled shakily. She sent another message immediately. But Marcus, why did you just send me a picture of your bedroom? His blood ran cold. He hadn't taken any pictures. What picture? The response came instantly. The one of you standing in the corner. His vision blurred. Another message appeared. You look scared. Marcus's hand shook so violently he almost couldn't hold the phone. That's not me. 3 dots appeared. Then vanished. Then appeared again. It says sent from your phone. His gaze slowly lifted toward the end of the hallway, toward his closed bedroom door. His heart pounded harder than ever before. I'm not in there, he whispered. His phone camera suddenly activated again, front-facing. His own face filled the screen. He didn't move, didn't blink. Then the image shifted. The camera flipped to the rear view. It was pointing down the hallway, at his bedroom door. The door creaked open slowly. Marcus couldn't breathe. The camera zoomed in without him touching it. Inside the bedroom, something stood in the corner. Tall, thin, head tilted, watching the doorway, watching him. His voice broke into a whisper. What are you? The figure slowly stepped forward. Its movements were wrong, too stiff, too deliberate, like it was learning how to walk by watching him. The bedroom light flicked on, and Marcus saw it clearly. It looked like him. Same height, same build, same hoodie. But the proportions were slightly off. Arms just a little too long, smile just a little too wide. The thing lifted its hand and waved. Marcus stumbled backward into the wall. No, no. The copy stepped out of the bedroom, into the hallway. The phone screen glitched violently. Static flashed across it. Then a text appeared over the camera feed. You asked why I never come outside. The copy took another slow step forward, its eyes never blinking. Another message overlaid the screen. I don't need to. The hallway lights flickered. Marcus turned and ran toward the front door, but it slammed shut before he reached it. Locked. He yanked at the handle. It wouldn't budge. Behind him, soft footsteps, slow, measured, mirroring his earlier pace outside. He spun around. The copy stood halfway down the hallway now, close enough that Marcus could see its chest rising, breathing in perfect sync with him. You're not real, Marcus whispered desperately. You're not real. The copy's smile widened further, and then it spoke. But the voice wasn't distorted. It was his, perfectly his. I never came outside, it said calmly. Because I was waiting for you to invite me in. Marcus's knees nearly gave out. I didn't. You knocked first, it interrupted. You watched first. You wanted proof. The copy took another step. You opened the door. Marcus shook his head violently. I was checking if someone needed help. And now you know, it said softly. The hallway lights cut out. Darkness swallowed the space. Marcus felt a rush of cold air move past him, right into him, like something slipping through his chest. He gasped. The front door suddenly unlocked with a sharp click. The lights came back on. The hallway was empty. His bedroom door stood open. Nothing inside. Marcus stood there shaking, unsure if he was still breathing. Slowly, he turned toward the living room window. Across the yard, the neighbor's house was completely dark again. Still, empty, like it always had been. His phone buzzed one last time. A message from Kayla. Are you outside again? He stared at it, confused. No, I'm inside. The typing bubble appeared immediately. Then who is standing in your yard? Marcus's heart stopped. Very slowly. He walked to the living room window and looked out. Under the dim glow of the neighbor's porch light, barefoot, phone in hand, staring up at the upstairs window next door. The copy's head tilted slightly, and even from this distance, Marcus could see the smile. His phone buzzed again. Another message from Kayla. It's waving at me. The version of him outside slowly lifted its hand and waved toward the sky. Marcus stumbled back from the window in horror. The porch light next door flicked off. Darkness swallowed the yard. When he forced himself to look again, the yard was empty. No one there. His front door slowly creaked open behind him. Cold night air drifted in, an unseen presence brushing past him, stepping outside. Marcus didn't turn around this time. He couldn't. He already knew. Across the yard, the upstairs curtain of the neighbor's house slowly pulled back, and a tall, thin silhouette stepped into view, standing perfectly still, watching. If you made it this far, something tells me you'd look too. Would you have knocked? Would you have kept watching? Or would you have left the moment the porch light flicked on? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoy stories that follow you home after the screen goes dark, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because some neighbors don't need to come outside. They just need you to notice them.